Start my stream. Right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We had stopped here and I told you guys to go over this exercise before we get to it. It says صف لزملائك كيف اعتمرته مستعينا بالصور والكلمات. Describe to your mates, to your friends, to your peers how you made Umrah using the pictures below. So you got labisa and ihram. Speak about yourself. Say I wore ihram, I did this, etc. Alam Ghair, you can start.
لبس إحرام.
Say I wore ihram. No, labisa means he.
Oh, in the past tense?
Yeah, it's giving you the past tense.
خلعت ثوبي ولبست ملابس الإحرام.
Yeah, just do what's there. Yeah, لبست ملابس الإحرام ولبست الإحرام and then
ولبيت بالعمرة.
no, the second picture. Just use the pictures that are there. وصلت.
وصلت بعد العصر إلى المسجد الحرام.
Then
طفت حول الكعبة 7 أشواط.
then
وصليت ركعتين خلف مقام إبراهيم.
well done.
سعيت بين الصفا والمروة.
Well done.
وحلقت رأسي.
حلقت not حلقت. حلقت no
وحلقت رأسي.
أحسنت. well done. تبع الحوار مع زميلك كما في المثال. So ask and answer. ماذا تفعل في المدينة المنورة؟ أزور المسجد النبوي. وماذا تفعل أنت؟ أزور المسجد النبوي أيضا. خيبر. ماذا تفعل في القرية؟
أزور في القرية أصدقاء. أوكي.
أزور sorry.
أزور الأصدقاء.
yeah.
وماذا تفعل أنت؟
أزور الأصدقاء أيضا. طيب خيبر. ماذا تفعل في المدينة؟
أزور معرض الهوايات.
ask again.
وماذا تفعل أنت؟
أزور معرض الهوايات أيضا. طيب خيبر. ماذا تفعل في السودان؟
أزور
أسرة.
الأسرة. وماذا تفعل أنت؟
أزور الأسرة أيضا. I also visit the family. عالم غير. ماذا تفعل في الرياض؟
أزور الأهل. وماذا تفعل أنت؟
أزور الأهل أيضا. وماذا تفعل في مكة المكرمة؟
أزور المسجد الحرام. وماذا تفعل أنت؟
أزور المسجد الحرام أيضا. وماذا تفعل في بغداد؟
أزور الوالدة. وماذا تفعل أنت؟
أزور الوالدة أيضا. Well done. Easy exercise, simple. And you've got أجب مستعينا بالصور. Now can you see they're making you think. They want you to answer with the picture that's there. عالم غير. أين لبست ثوب الإحرام? That's a hotel on the top.
في الفندق.
أيوة. لبست ثوب الإحرام في الفندق. عالم غير. بما شعرت في المسجد الحرام؟ بما it's like what did you feel in مسجد الحرام؟
بالسرور.
وماذا فعلت بعد الطواف؟ الصفا
Um, yeah. سعيت um,
ذهبت إلى المسعى. Okay, for example, I went to the place of sa'i. And say أي.
أصلي ركعتين.
Yeah, you can also put that. من أين سعيت؟
سعيت بين الصفا والمروة.
خيبر، ماذا فعلت في عرفات؟
بالعرفات فعلت دعاء.
دعوت.
دعوت.
وأين قضيت أيام العيد؟
أيام قضيت
قضيت أيام العيد.
قضيت أيام العيد في الحرام. في الحرام.
في المسجد الحرام، أو عند المسجد الحرام. وأين خلعت ملابس الإحرام؟
خلعت ملابس الإحرام في فندق.
في الفندق. متى ذهبت إلى مزدلفة؟
ذهبت إلى المزدلفة. I don't know when.
عالم غير. When do you go to مزدلفة؟ نحج.
في الرمي الجمرات.
No. في لي on which night?
I forgot the night.
The 9th. ليلة التاسعة. ها؟ 9th night. So you go to مزدلفة. طيب، التدريب السادس. أجب عن الأسئلة التالية. Answer the questions. عالم غير. متى wait, the time is 16. Let's finish this exercise and we can do our fiqh. متى
العطلة في
العطلة؟
شهر رمضان.
أين تقضي العطلة؟
أقضيها في مكة.
كيف تقضي العطلة؟
أعتمر وأصوم وأصلي في المسجد الحرام.
هل اعتمرت؟
نعم، اعتمرت.
اعتمرت. ها؟
اعتمرت.
هل ذهبت إلى مكة؟
نعم، ذهبت إلى مكة.
متى ذهبت إلى مكة؟
ذهبت إلى مكة في يوم الخميس.
هل أنت مسرور هنا؟
نعم.
نعم، أنا مسرور هنا. متى الحج؟
في شهر ذي الحجة. في شهر ذي الحجة.
متى العمرة؟
anytime. How do you say?
Anytime, or you could use the question somebody asking you when is Umrah. Okay. في كل وقت، في كل وقت، في كل حين. العمرة مفتوحة في كل حين. طيب خيبر، ماذا تفعل في الميقات؟
أفعل.
Not أفعل. Give us something you do.
في ميقات. ذهبت إلى مكة، مسجد الحرام.
What do you do at the miqat? And you're saying I go to Masjid al-Haram.
I need to go over this the Hajj knowledge. So I don't want to give wrong answers.
عالم غير.
لبست ملابس الإحرام.
أحسن، لبست ملابس الإحرام. بما تشعر أمام الكعبة؟ بما تشعر. What do you feel in front of the Kaaba?
أشعر بالسرور.
Yeah, it's fine.
أشعر بالسرور.
ماذا تفعل عندما تدخل المسجد الحرام? What do you do when you enter المسجد الحرام?
دعوت الدعاء.
أطوف. أبدأ بالطواف. Start with الطواف. That's what you do. First thing, enter Masjid al-Haram, start with tawaf. That's why there's no Tahiyatul Masjid for Makkah for the people who are able to make tawaf. If you walk into Masjid al-Haram, the Tahiyatul Masjid for Masjid al-Haram is to make tawaf. أين تطوف؟
حول الكعبة.
طيب كم شوطا تطوف؟
7 أشواط.
وأين تسعى؟
في بين الصفا والمروة.
وكم شوطا تسعى؟
7
أشواط.
7 أشواط.
متى تحلق رأسك؟ بعد بعد السعي بين الصفا
بعد
والمروة.
السعي.
Last one. متى تذبح الهدي؟
في مكة.
متى وين؟
وين؟
في يوم العيد في اليوم العاشر. ها؟ هذا ما شاء الله. It shows that you've been here from the beginning and you're able to understand and speak quite decently. أحسنت. This ties into what we've been taking in Hajj. Did you people learn the mawaqit or you didn't? Huh? Khaybar?
Yes, Sheikh.
Let me open my whiteboard a second. Yalla, first things first. Mawaqit. Name one, Umar. People, in fact, not name one. The people of Iraq, what's the miqat called?
Daqtir.
ذات عرق. Khaybar. People of Medina, what's the miqat called? Saeed. People of Medina, what's the miqat?
People of Medina, Dhul Hudayfa.
Hulayfa with a lam. The people of Najd, Alam Ghir. Alam Ghir. People of Najd. They don't know. طيب. Who else is here? People of Najd. Anyone? Halim? Khaybar? Khaybar? Umar?
Al-Jufa.
No, Al-Juhfa is not for the people of Najd. Qarnul Manazil. You guys have to learn these mawaqit. Very easy. 5, just 5. Look here. If this is Makkah here, okay? If this is Makkah here, okay? You've got the coast here. This is all the Red Sea. Okay? Jeddah is a coastal city, so Jeddah is about here. Medina is north from Makkah, so Medina is higher. It's about here, 400 kilometers roughly away here. Yes, Medina. Then you got this side. Going this side is Najd and Qarnul Manazil, Taif, etc. Going this side is Yemen. Yalamlam. Going that side is Juhfa. And going this side is Dhatu Irq. So anybody who wants to perform Hajj or Umrah must enter the miqat in Ihram, and if they don't, they pay a penalty. Those who say Jeddah is in the miqat, those who say Jeddah is not in the miqat, the safest opinion is that to be in a state of Ihram when reaching Jeddah if you're going straight to Makkah. Let me ask you a question. Alam Ghir, if somebody now is going for Hajj, okay, and they've intended Hajj, okay, and they reach here, Jeddah airport, But from Jeddah airport, they're not going to Makkah. They're going to go to Medina. They're going to spend 1 week. And then they're going to come for Hajj. Must they wear ihram or not? If we say that Jeddah is part of the miqat, should they wear ihram or not?
They're going on holidays, Sheikh.
No, they're going to Medina.
From Medina, ihram is
When you go to
from Makkah.
when you go to the airport now and you see people going to Jeddah, you ask them, where are you going? They say, we're going for Hajj. Okay, you're going to Jeddah. What you going to do when you go for Hajj? First, we're going to go to Medina for 3 days. Then we're going to go to Makkah for Hajj. And then you, as a new student of knowledge, who's of the opinion that Jeddah is in the miqat, what do you tell them? Do you tell them wear ihram or don't wear ihram?
Wear ihram.
Very well.
Yes, wear ihram because they're in the miqat.
Saeed.
I think there are two opinions in the Hanafi madhab, one that you can wear the ihram and one that you can also wear it when you leave from Medina to towards Mecca.
Anyone else?
Without the fact that Jeddah is a part of Miqat, they have to wear because they are going to cross Dhul Hulayfa anyway.
Okay,
So
let me
after crossing
explain.
Dhul Hulayfa, they're gonna-
Okay, look here. Here's the sea. Okay. Here's Jeddah. Here's Makkah. Here's Medina. And notice how Medina is here. Dhul Hulayfa is roughly about here. Okay. These people, when they come, whether they're coming from here or they're coming from here or they're flying from here or they're flying from here, even if you say Jeddah is part of the miqat, they're not going to Makkah. They're going to Medina. Medina is out of the miqat. Medina is out of the miqat, number one. Number two is that on this journey here, they even if you say Jeddah is part of the miqat, they've entered Jeddah without an intention to make Umrah right now or to make Hajj right now. They're still going to go. They're going to leave the miqat. They're going to go do so many things. And then here's the miqat roughly. So they'll stay there by the hotel, etc. Then when they're ready to come, they'll wear the ihram before passing Dhul Hulayfa. So they don't wear ihram. When do they wear ihram? If you say Jeddah is part of the miqat, if once they're reaching Jeddah airport, they're going straight for a Hajj or Umrah, they're going straight to Makkah. So example, if somebody reaches Jeddah airport, okay? And then from Jeddah airport, they take another flight and they go to Riyadh, which is somewhere here. Okay? Yeah.
I think what I said with the two opinions that would apply then if they would travel from Jeddah to Dhul Hudayfa. Then there are
There's
two
no
opinions, right?
There's no two opinions. There's one opinion. They don't wear ihram.
Okay.
I understand, because this is a journey on its own. This flight is a journey on its own. Then from here you're going all the way out. It's a journey on its own. And then from here you're going to start a journey on its own. You've got something to do here in Medina. You've got something to do in Riyadh. And then you're going to come back in. But if from Jeddah airport you want to go straight to Makkah, that's when you wear ihram, if you say that it's from the miqat. I only ask you these questions because it makes you think, it confuses you. So when you're actually there, you won't make a mistake. If somebody asks you, you'll know what you're talking about. We spoke about wearing the ihram, and we spoke about how a person is not allowed to do certain things when in ihram. Mentioned is not allowed to wear certain things in terms of covering the face, wearing that which takes the shape of the body, like normal clothes. Not allowed to cover the head for a man. This we're talking about a man. Not allowed to wear shoes that cover the ankles. And according to the Hanafi madhab, he must leave the bone on the top of the foot. It must be open. That's what they count the Kaab as in Hajj. After that, let's say a person's done all that. he's worn his white cloth for men. For women, they not wearing that which is impermissible, and they'll mention it. He passes the miqat, he's in his ihram. What does he do? He's on the way. He's ordered to make talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, the whole dua. Whether he's traveling, whether he goes up or down, until he reaches Masjid al-Haram. Somebody's mic is making noise. Once he reaches Masjid al-Haram, what's the first thing he does? Depending on his intention. So here we're talking about a person going for Hajj only. Okay. The first thing he does is he gets to Masjid al-Haram and he goes to the Kaaba. Okay. So first thing, goes to the Kaaba. And he starts off with tawaf. Before starting tawaf, even in the Hanafi madhab and the other madhahib, for men, you take the white cloth that you've been wearing and you stick your right hand out and then you tie it. So that's why if you look at others, it's called al-ittiba' and al-ramal, where you open your right shoulder and you jog or you move briskly or fast in the first 3 rounds if there's no traffic or if there's no zahma, no people. Wherever you find a gap, you move. That's a sunnah. It's not compulsory. So the person starts off with tawaf. In tawaf, where do you start off from? If you look at the Kaaba, let's say you're looking from the top bird's eye view. Let's say this is the Kaaba, okay? Depending where you entered from, let's say this corner here is what's called the Hajar Aswad, the black stone. Right now, it's a black stone and it's got a casing, like a silver casing. You start from here, okay? And then you go round anti-clockwise, okay? And this is 1 round. So you go around 7 times. That's considered a tawaf. That's why we were taking Sabat Ashwat, okay? So you start from here. There's no particular dua to be read through tawaf. A person can make his own dhikr and dua, etc. In some hadith, it's mentioned that when he's at this corner here, Rukn al-Yamani, between this corner and there, he can read Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. What's important to mention is that when a person is moving, his left side, because he's going anti-clockwise, his left side will always be facing the Kaaba. And it's important for him to try his best not to turn around, not to come out. Just some scholars give an example of it being like how Qibla is. You know, when you're reading Salah, you don't move without any reason away from the Qibla. Sometimes if you have to look because of an emergency or whatever, you look, but without moving your whole body away from Qibla for no reason. Otherwise, they say it breaks the Salah. So similarly, when making tawaf, a person shouldn't come out. So let's say he's moving this way, then he mustn't turn all the way back and come out of facing the lane or the direction he's been going in. That's what he must try his best to avoid. Yes, at times it's unavoidable due to the traffic, etc. Also, when reaching here, the Hajar Aswad, how does a person start? It's mentioned that if he's able to, he puts his hand over the stone, the black stone, okay, and kisses the stone, and he starts. Either by saying Bismillah, some say Bismillah Allahu Akbar, some say he says Allahu Akbar only. That's how you start. If you're far away and you can't touch the stone, you can point at the stone, or you give what they call an ishara, okay? You gesture towards the stone, either with 1 hand or 2 hands. Some people say, let's say, for example, when you're walking, let's say you're here, let's say you're coming here. Some people say, as you're walking, just lift up 1 hand like this, Allahu Akbar, and carry on. Others say, no, you must turn all the way, face the stone with both your hands. Stop, say Allahu Akbar. And some even kiss their hands. A lot of different opinions, a lot of different ways. All this, inshallah, is permissible. However, what one must remember is that you're here to do tawaf, and in trying to fulfill some of the things you believe to be sunnah, don't do that which is impermissible by being a nuisance to people, stopping in the way, trying to go towards the black stone, especially when there's a lot of people. There's no virtue in fighting and pushing and shoving everybody else in order to get to the stone. Rather, you may be sinful. So that's the first thing a person starts with, is the tawaf. And he goes around 7 times. After he's finished, you'll see that Maqam Ibrahim is about here. It's sunnah to read 2 raka'at after finishing tawaf. And this is after any tawaf. Okay? So if the Maqam Ibrahim is here, the person can read anywhere here, anywhere here, anywhere here. However, it's not compulsory. So some people fight to read here, and again, they block the tawaf. No, you can read here if it's too full. Go read on the first floor, go read on the second floor, etc. Again, this is sunnah. Straight after that, you'll find that a person goes out to the Mas'a or Safa and Marwa. I think if I opened it on Google Maps, it would have been better. I'll open it just now, inshallah. He goes to the Mas'a, Safa and Marwa. This, you come out roughly to here. And then the mountain of Safa is on this side. Mountain of Marwa is on this side. He starts off at Safa and he walks all the way to Marwa. Now, in between here, they call them Al-Milayn Al-Akhtarayn. It's basically 2 like green markings. It's mentioned that this is the actual valley where Hajar alayhi salam, where she ran faster, she moved faster. So it's sunnah for the men to move faster, to jog at a decent pace. So when you start from here at Safa, you go here, and whilst you're between these signs, you go even faster, and then you slow down. That's Marwa, and then that's 1. And then you come back from Marwa to Safa, that's 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, 6, 7. So the 7th one you finish here on Marwa. Now, what's important to mention is that when leaving for Safa and Marwa, there's some sunan dua to mention, as well as sometimes reading the verse Inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. That's also a sunnah. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. That dua is sunnah. La ilaha illallah wahdah anjaza wa'dah, etc. That's a dua. And to make all your dua after reciting that facing the Kaaba. It's mentioned the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam made a very long dua between Safa and Marwa. So a person starts here, starts off, makes his dua. Then as he's walking towards Marwa, he'll be making his dhikr, or reciting his Quran, or making dua, whatever he wants. When he reaches Marwa, he doesn't have to point at the Kaaba or anything like that. No, it's a place to make dua. Inshallah, it's a place where dua is easily or more likely to be accepted. Then he carries on and comes back. There are a few other sunan that the scholars mention. I did mention that the first 3 rounds for a man, he jogs or walks faster. And also between here, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. And when coming towards Safa, he reads the ayah, إِنَّ الصَّفَا وَالْمَرْوَةَ مِنْ شَعَائِرِ اللَّهِ, as well as لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ, لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ أَنْجَزَ وَعْدَهُ, the dua. What's another mas'ala that comes up in the books of fiqh? You must have seen near the Kaaba, there's like a small semicircular structure. It's called the Hatim or the Hijr. Now that's originally part of the Kaaba. Okay? So in the books of fiqh long ago, they used to mention that when a person is making tawaf, he must make sure he walks all the way around. He mustn't catch a shortcut here. Why? Because that's part of the Kaaba. These days, nobody's going to catch a shortcut because everybody's walking in one direction, and generally this is closed. So just in case you see that mas'ala, that's what it is. What exactly is the Hijr or the Hatim? All we know is it's part of the Kaaba. Some people say Ismail alayhi salam is buried there. Wallahu alam. I don't think there is any truth to that. And one of the reasons is mentioned that when the kuffar of Quraysh rebuilt the Kaaba, they didn't have enough money, enough pure money. They would gather wealth which was pure in order to build. So they had to stop short. But they knew that this was still part of the Kaaba, so they put a marking to it. Then the Messenger ﷺ, after conquering Makkah, he tells Aisha radiallahu anha, he says that if your people were not new Muslims, i.e. they weren't so close to kufr, I would have broken the Kaaba in its current form and made it in its original form, i.e. entering this, what we say is the white structure today in it. So notice how it was something correct, something virtuous, but it wasn't compulsory, and he looked at the state of the people. And some of the rulers that came after, some broke and tried to enter it, then another one came and he broke and took it out again. And then the scholars said, enough, no more touching the Kaaba, no more touching the Hatim, leave it as it is. And they left it. So till today, it's like that. Also, when it comes to the Kaaba, between the Hajar Aswad, the black stone, and the door, so the door of the Kaaba is here. There was also a door behind, but now they've closed it. So right now, when you see the door of the Kaaba, it's here next to the black stone. Between that, it's only about, it must be about 2 meters at most. 2 people can fit there. The guard stands on the side, and at most, maybe 2 people will fit there. It's mentioned that's called the Multazam. So the Multazam, it's mentioned that a person who makes dua there, inshallah, his dua is accepted. There's no specific ahadith that speak about it. Some say it's athar. However, others say that with trial and testing, etc., and some of the scholars do mention that it's an athar of Ibn Abbas, that dua made at this point is accepted. Wallahu a'lam. If you have a chance, then you try to make dua there without pushing and fighting with everybody else. Any questions? I hope you people understood the tawaf. Maybe we should open a YouTube video tomorrow and I can show you. Any questions?
My question is, the starting point of Sari is Safa and the ending point should be then Marwa, no?
Yeah, because if you start here, Safa 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you
Yes.
stop here.
And then the dua is also Sunnah at the Marwa.
Yeah, to make dua between at Safa and at Marwa is Sunnah. But as a Sunnah, person shouldn't let go easily.
You mentioned that at the Marwa, when you finish the Sari, then the duas are accepted. Is it?
No,
like,
whilst you're making, so at Safa, when you start round 1, before you start, make dua, inshallah, it's likely to be accepted. When you reach Marwa, make dua, inshallah, it's likely to be accepted. When you reach Safa again, make dua again. When you reach Marwa again, make dua again. When you reach Safa again, make dua again. And you'll see a lot of the times people just try to get it over and done with. If you really want to have an Umrah that's enjoyable, you've spent so much money, you've gone all the way there, you've gone such a long distance. What have you gone for? When somebody says, what are you going for? You say, I'm going for Umrah. If somebody goes for 7 days, don't try to make your Umrah and cut it down to 1 hour or 2 hours, and that's about it. Here, when it's not full, when it's reasonable, when it's extremely empty, you can do a tawaf in about 10 minutes. I remember when we were kids, you could go around 7 times, like within 5 minutes. We used to run, even less, because you were making tawaf like hugging the Kaaba almost, because it was that empty. COVID time also was empty because there were not many people. But generally now, when it's not that full and you're still making tawaf on the ground floor, give it 30-40 minutes. So it's a reasonable pace, you'll finish. Safa and Marwa depends on how long you stop here and how long you stop here. But don't be in a rush to finish. You've come all the way there, and try your best.
And tawaf should be started from the point of Hijr Aswad.
Hajar Aswad, that's where you start the tawaf from. And this tawaf that a person makes for Hajj, when he comes, this first tawaf, let's say his intention is only to make Hajj. This is called Tawaful Qudum. It's tawaf for coming to Makkah. Not compulsory, but it's part of the Sunnah. And as for the people of Makkah who want to perform Hajj, they're already in Makkah. They don't have to make this Tawaful Qudum. And let's say a person was making Umrah, same thing. The first thing, he'll come Masjid al-Haram, he makes Tawaf. It doesn't mean that once you reach there, no, you go get your wash up, make wudu, get your hotel room. If you haven't read your Salah, read your Salah. Then when you reach Masjid al-Haram, then you go for Tawaf. And after Tawaf, you go for Sa'i. Anybody been for Umrah or Hajj?
Sheikh Nigawafas.
What has been? Sayyid has been.
Last time I was here was 1999. I was a boy,
Okay.
young boy.
Inshallah, you guys will all go soon. If you get the opportunity, go. Don't use the excuse. And for those who are able to afford it, don't use the excuse. It's too full. It's too full. It's going to be full forever. It's especially now with there's not many restrictions. People can get visas easily, etc. Go, because you never know. Especially if you've got financial capability, you've got good health. You never know when you won't be able to go.
Sheikh, I have a
And,
question.
Yeah.
If someone becomes like a khadim, you know, like go to Makkah and say that I want to be helping, I want to help the Hujjaj, and then performs Hajj, will this Hajj will be valid?
Are you talking about those who go without permission?
I don't know whether maybe there are some organizations who are sending people to help
Yeah, so if a person
Hujjaj.
goes whilst he's helping, no problem. Sometimes what happens is you need a Hajj permit to go, especially if you're a resident in Saudi. So let's say a person goes without a Hajj permit. His Hajj is still valid, but he'll be same like when we spoke about a woman going without a mahram. The scholars say she must go with a mahram. If she went without a mahram and she's far away, masafat qasr, then they say her Hajj or her Umrah will still be counted. However, she'll be sinful for that. That's what they say. So it's two different ibadat. Similarly, if a person, for example, steals a pair of clothing or steals water, and then he goes to make wudu with that stolen water, or he wears this thawb that he stole to perform Dhuhr and Asr, for example, is his salah counted or not? His salah is counted because his salah is different and the sin that he's committed is different. So he's also held liable for it, except in the Hanbali madhab.
And then similarly, if we don't get the visa for Umrah, just get a tourist visa and then perform Umrah, will this be considered
because
cheating or?
No, you're allowed. According to the person who set all those visas, it clearly states that you can go. Part of a tourist visa is to go for Umrah.
Okay.
Halim?
Sheikh, I want to ask you if obviously if you're coming in just for Hajj and you're coming in from Jeddah, but before the days of the Hajj start, you can just go to Makkah and normally and just relax and just go to the Haram every day, and then when it's time for Hajj, you just put your Ihram on and then go.
No. You're going for Hajj. Are you not going for Hajj?
Yes.
Where he wouldn't have to, for example, if, and it happens, let's say a taxi driver, he's dropping people off for Hajj. He's got no intention of staying. So he's entered in plain clothes. And then once he's entered, okay, he decides, you know what, let me do Hajj since I'm here. There he's count because he's already in Makkah. Then he makes his ihram from where he started. As for somebody who's going with the intention of Hajj, then they must be in a state of ihram. Also, let's say, so what do the Hujjaj do? They go and especially those who are going a few days early, they'll make Umrah first. So they go with the intention of making Umrah. They'll make Umrah, come out of a state of ihram from their Umrah. They'll be able to wear their clothes, do everything. Then when the days of Hajj are about to start, just before they start, let's say on the 8th, they want to go to Mina, that's when they'll wear their ihram. So this is a simple solution for that. And generally, you'll find people who are going a few days early, they'll go with the intention of making Umrah first, come out of Ihram the same day within 2-3 hours. And then let's say Hajj is only 4 days away. After 4 days, that's when they'll put on the Ihram again. You understand?
Yeah, Sheikh. And the last question I had for you was, when you're doing Safa and Marwa, between them you make dua and then you continue. I forgot what the Arabic term was of walking up and down the neck, from one point to the next.
Yeah. The meaning? Well, the question, what's the question?
The dua between, when you get to the end of the one, you make dua and then you
There's no,
move again.
look, the only du'as that are warid that I know is a person, warid meaning in the sunnah. A person recites the ayah. Some say when he's going towards Safa and Marwa. Some say when he's on Safa and Marwa. So, إن الصفا والمروة من شعائر الله فمن حج البيت واعتمر فلا جناح عليه أن يطوف بهما ومن تطوع خيرا فإن الله شاكر عليم. Then he reads the dua. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. لا إله إلا الله وحده أنجز وعده ونصر عبده, etc., etc., etc. The whole dua. Then it's sunnah to read it 3 times. I don't know of any other du'as that there's a hadith for them. I don't know. Ending of that dua is وهزم الأحزاب كلها. وهزم الأحزاب وحده. Other than that, I don't know of any du'as. Similarly, between when making tawaf, between the Rukn al-Yamani and Hajar Aswad, ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Other than that, they're all ijtihadat. Ijtihadat meaning people said, so all these people who moving with a dua book or whatever, it's not wrong to move with the dua book, but it's not something compulsory. It might actually be better for you if you're making your own dua in whatever language you want to make, the language that you know. Because is there a difference if somebody has their book or their phone and they're just reading the words, they don't know what they're talking about and carrying on, or they say, you know what, they making dua for something that they need or they want, and they know exactly who they're calling out to and they know exactly what they're asking for. There's a difference. And I told you one of the virtues mentioned, the hadith of going constantly for Umrah, for Hajj, is it repels poverty, as mentioned by the Messenger ﷺ. For those of you who are able to go, especially I know in the first world, you get good deals, especially with the amount of travel agents and that. If you're able to save up and go. MashaAllah, a few people have been here. I'm just reading here. Halim went, Amira went, Sayyida went. Inshallah, if Allah wishes, we'll take you guys off for Umrah bi'idhnillah. Any other questions with regards to what we've taken so far?
Yes, Sheikh.
Yeah.
Can you explain the difference between the scenario when a person intends to do Hajj and Umrah together and
Okay.
the only Hajj?
Okay, look here. Let's say this first person. The first person is only doing Umrah. I'm going to put a U, okay? This first person who's only doing Umrah, same thing with the miqat and ihram, etc. However, when he comes here, he's going to go around 7 times, okay? He's going to go between Safa and Marwa, and then he's going to cut his hair. That Umrah you can do throughout the whole year, okay? Then, now let's say a person is coming for Hajj, okay? I'll put an H here. In Hajj, you can do Hajj in 3 different ways, okay? You can do Hajj only, which is called Ifrad. So the person comes, so far we haven't taken it fully, okay? The person comes, it's sunnah for him to make this tawaf, not compulsory, okay? It's only intending on making Hajj. So this tawaf, for this person who is doing Ifrad from Fard 1, is sunnah, okay? For him, if he wanted to go straight to Mina, it's okay. Straight to Arafat, it's okay. Then you've got the one who is doing tamattu'. What's tamattu'? Tamattu' is literally this person here, okay? He's coming, he's making an Umrah exactly like this person here, coming out of the state of Ihram, and then he's going to wait. So for example, let's say he comes on the 1st of Dhul Hijjah, then he waits till the 8th when the people are ready to go to Mina, he wears Ihram from his hotel and he goes. So if you look at it, what has he done? He's literally if you had to separate it, he's making Umrah here, he's come out of Ihram, and on the same journey, he doesn't have to go back to the Miqat. No, on the same journey, he's also started his Hajj. So what he's done, he's made this compulsory tawaf because it's for his Umrah, and he's made this compulsory sa'i bayna as-Safa wal Marwa because it's for his Umrah, and he's come out of the state of Ihram. And for that, on one journey, because he's going to be able to do Hajj and Umrah together without having left the Miqat and coming back, he owes a hadi, he owes an animal. So he must give an animal. So he must slaughter. So if you look at Tamattu, Tamattu is literally Umrah alone and Ifrad alone, but they come together, literally. Then you've got what's called Qiran. Qiran. What does the person in Qiran do? The person in Qiran, same thing, but he doesn't come out of the state of Ihram. He's not coming out of the state of Ihram. He's doing a 2-in-1. You understand? And he also owes an animal. He also owes an animal because one journey he did Hajj and Umrah together with one. And you find scholars differ greatly as to what is the best. Is it better to do Ifrad? Is it better to do Tamattu? Is it better to do Qiran? A lot of people lean towards Tamattu, especially for those who come from far, where you've come from a long way, you might as well do Umrah and do Hajj. And they'll say, why would you do Qiran when you can do your Umrah, come out of Ihram, and then do Hajj? And they say those who are close, those who are able to go to Umrah countless times, if they do Ifrad, it's better. So difference of opinion, it differs widely. Any other question?
Okay, so basically the act of slaughtering is not the part of Hajj, rather it's a punishment. Right?
No, not a
For
punishment, not at
making
all.
both of them.
Not a punishment, not at all a punishment. But it's a great act of worship, great act in Hajj. However, what I'm trying to say is that the slaughtering of the animal is compulsory on these two and not compulsory on this one. So if this person doesn't cut, it's okay. What's the difference? Inshallah, you'll get it as you go through Hajj now. So you've only taken Tawaf and Sa'i Bayna as-Safa wal Marwa. That's all you've taken. Still haven't gone to the days of Hajj. Inshallah, we'll take that.
Yes,
Sheikh,
just to reconfirm,
Yeah.
the person who is making Tamattu and Qiran, they have to slaughter, it's compulsory on them, and not
Yes.
on the person who is making just an Umrah.
And not on the
what if
person just
a
making
person comes
Umrah, and not
only
on the person making Hajj only. They don't have to slaughter.
Okay. Yes.
Next. Saeed.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. I had two short questions. One was to do with the which you have told us in the previous class. You mentioned that the covering of the face for a woman that is recommended, but that it shouldn't take the shape of the face. So she should better put a veil in front of her face. And then you mentioned that for a man and for a woman, it is also discouraged or not allowed, one of either two, to also cover the face with something like a mask, something that is attached. But I was wondering, does that mean attached to the face or attached to the garment?
Attached to the face. Or to the garment, or whatever it may be. Look at the garment being used to cover. Okay? So for example, if you look at my scarf here, if this was a niqab, if you people have seen a niqab, well, what is a niqab? A niqab is a piece of cloth like this. Has got a lot of them got a piece for the eyes here. Then they put it round and they tie it at the back, so it takes the shape of the face. It's literally something holding on the face. And a woman not supposed to cover the face when doing when in ihram. Now, some of the scholars say unless there is fear of fitna. Okay, so a woman here is allowed to cover if she wears her niqab she must still pay the penalty. If she doesn't wear niqab, but let's say she just takes a cloth that just dangles down from the top. So what they do is, if I put my scarf like this, you'll see. If you take your thing and from the top, they'll just take it and they'll drop it in the front like this. It is not taking the shape and not being held by anything tight like this on my face. It's just left like that. Then that's okay. Now, when it comes to medical reason, like the masks, again, there's those who are strict. They'll say, even if you're wearing a mask, you must pay the penalty. And there's those who say that, no, you don't have to, because it's necessity.
Okay, so covering the face for a
not
woman is not even recommended.
Hold on. Also, a muhrim is not supposed to wear gloves. So those women who wear gloves, not supposed to wear gloves. Rather, they can wear longer jilbab or abaya and covers the sleeve covers the hand if they want. Otherwise, you must pay again a penalty. What did you say? Not recommended? What?
For a woman to cover the face is not recommended. It would be mubah then, or do I get that wrong?
No, you got that wrong. We're not talking about hijab. We're talking about ihram.
Yeah, I mean covering the front of the face. I mean, not the hair, but the face. I mean,
in ihram.
Yes.
Out of ihram, cover the face.
Yeah, but in ihram, it is not okay.
Yeah, in ihram, they're not supposed to.
Okay, I just wanted to get that clear. Okay.
Yeah.
And the second question was the confusion that I had earlier about the two opinions. I think that came from the other thing you said about if someone would enter from Dhul Hudayfa,
yeah,
and he takes the route to Jaffa, then he can choose to put this ihram.
He can choose from the nearer miqat.
Yeah, but that would not count if someone would travel from Jeddah.
Because he's leaving the miqat. Yes, because he's leaving the miqat, going to do something, then coming back.
Oh, like that, yeah.
Any more questions? Yeah.
Sheikh,
Last question.
Yeah, Sheikh.
MashaAllah, you guys have a lot of questions. Inshallah, you'll all go for Hajj.
Sheikh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sheikh, have I understood it correctly that Zabhul Hadi and Halqul Ru'usi is a compulsory part of Hajj, but not Umrah?
Yes, in Umrah, a person doesn't have to slaughter in Umrah. So look,
and also
when you're slaughtering, look. For Dhul Hijjah is the people making Hajj, and people like us this year who are not making Hajj. Inshallah, we'll make Hajj next year or whenever Allah tells us. So here, us, what's binding upon us? What do we have? We have a day of Eid, which is the 10th, okay? And on that day of Eid, those who have enough, they are encouraged to slaughter an animal. The Hanafi madhab says is wajib. Okay, so you slaughtering what? Everybody now advertising animals, or people wanting to buy animals. They're talking for this group here who are not making Hajj and who celebrate Eid on the 10th. As for a person in Hajj, okay, if they are making Hajj only, ifrad, it is not compulsory upon them to slaughter an animal. Okay? If they are making tamattu' or qiran, it is compulsory upon them to slaughter an animal. Understood? And if a person comes to make Umrah at any time during the year, whenever Umrah only, they don't have to slaughter. So Umrah here also, you don't slaughter. Did you understand? A lot of the masail of Hajj and Umrah, you'll only understand when you go there and you see and you experience for yourself. That answer your question or no?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, we're running out of time. 5 more minutes. Any other question?
Sheikh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sheikh.
Halim.
When exactly did you slaughter the animal if you're doing tamattu' or qiran?
So as you'll take on in Hajj, as we're going to take. The 8th day is the day of Mina, okay? 9th day is the day of Arafah. Now, 9th day in the night, the people go to Muzdalifah. Now, 10th day for the Hajj is a very important day, very busy day. What are they supposed to be doing? There's no specific order in what they have to do, but these are the things they have to do. They have to pelt the jamarat, okay? They have to throw their pebbles. And they have to slaughter, okay? And they have to make tawaf, okay? There's one more thing they have to do. And after that, they can cut their hair, okay? Now, if they've done all of these things, they are now halal, okay? Full tahallul. So there's no specific timing. Let's say this person on the 10th, they wake up. They're supposed to go to Mina, but they get a bit late and they want to slaughter first. It's okay. Person gets to Makkah and he makes his tawaf first. It's okay. Okay, from these three things, leave this for now. After that, then he comes out of his ihram. So what happens these days is because you buy a coupon, because it's done by the government, they just consider that once the day has started, just consider that your hadi was done. It's just how it is. 2 million people making Hajj. There's no hotline or no phone call to say, okay, did you now slaughter on my behalf? Did you do this? It's impossible. And that's why there's a hadith in Hajj where the Messenger ﷺ was asked so many questions. I shaved before slaughtering. It says, if'al wala haraj, which literally means do and don't worry. And I slaughtered before shaving, do if'al wala haraj. And I made tawaf before doing this, if'al wala haraj, do, and there's no harm. And from that hadith, you find a lot of the scholars in some of the masail of Hajj, they're extremely lenient in some of their views, because Hajj, when you go for Hajj, you'll only understand, due to the amount of people, difficulty in moving from place to place. It's extremely, extremely, extremely difficult, challenging, and tiring. And on top of that, most of the people going are lay people. They've never known about Hajj. They're following one guide. They get lost from the group. They don't know what they're supposed to do. I tell you, there was one guy, to get to the jamarat, jamarat where you pelt, you'll be walking, even after you take the train and it drops you off, you'll still walk another maybe 30 minutes. You climb up, depending on the floor you have to go, and then you have to go to pelt, and then you have to come back, and that, it's something amazing, the amount of people, etc. Then you find somebody who gives a wrong fatwa to say that a person was throwing on behalf of themselves and on behalf of somebody else. So the guy already finished throwing. I don't know, I can't remember exactly. He threw for him, he threw for himself and the person, then he threw for himself and the person, then he threw for himself and the person who was throwing on their behalf. 1, 2, 3, and then he was going. Now, after he had left, he asked somebody, he said, you know what, I've thrown like this. The person said, no. You must go back and you must go to a pelt again. But first, you pelt for yourself, then go back again, and then pelt for the other person. You can't give that type of answer. A person in Hajj, he's going to wait. He's going to take 6 hours in order just to get those few meters. Similarly, when it comes to, I'll give you another interesting fatwa, is that, is it a condition? Is it compulsory to have wudu when making tawaf? The majority of the scholars are of the opinion that you must have wudu when making tawaf. Okay, that's the majority opinion. However, there's some scholars, and as far as I know, Ibn Taymiyyah is one of them, where he says it's not compulsory to have wudu when making tawaf. Okay, now, when you're making tawaf at Hajj time and it's taking you 5 or 6 hours on the roof, let's say somebody, they've made already 6 rounds, and then now on the 7th round, they don't have wudu. Are you going to tell him, go outside? It takes 3 hours to go out, find water, make wudu, and then come back inside and start again. He'll be in Masjid al-Haram trying to make one tawaf for 11 hours. Even at that point, people who believe that this tawaf, this wudu is compulsory for tawaf, they'll give him an easier fatwa. Similarly, a woman who hasn't made her tawaf for Hajj and tawaf al-wada', and she comes on her cycle, and let's say the plane is going to leave. Some scholars still today, they'll tell you that no, let her leave on the plane, and she'll be in a state of ihram until she can come back and fulfill that pillar of Hajj, which is the tawaf. And that's, you find even in the previous books, that's what they'll say. So what about somebody who's come and let's say they can't change their ticket easily? They've all their life savings they put in trying to come for Hajj, and now they're saying, okay, now to change your ticket, pay $2,000. They don't have that money. What do? Do you tell them go back home in ihram, and the person may never come back for 10 years? Some people actually say that, but again, Ibn Taymiyyah and others have an opinion to say that here a woman can make tawaf lid-darura, for just because it's dire necessity. So even while she's on her menses in that state, let her make tawaf and carry on home. Very, very logical opinion. But there's still others I've heard with myself, and I've read myself, where people say, no, she must go back home in ihram, and whenever it's easy for her to come back, then she'll make that tawaf that she owes, and so she could be in ihram for 10 years. Last question.
Yeah, I got two quick questions if possible. The one is those slaughtering and selling the sheep, are they allowed to make a profit on that? And then the last one is having a pouch for the phone that you wear on your neck